Okay, this is a practice, Ekapada Koundinyasana, bedroom yoga offering this morning. All right, come into cat and cow. One more. Okay. Now you're going to take the left arm out and the right leg up. And then open to the side. Stretching that right leg out. And the left arm out. If you don't have a wall in the way, you can stretch your arm out straight. We're going to work with what we have in these times. Last one. Good. Side view. Okay, stretch your left leg out and your right arm out. We'll begin. Using your core, hugging to the midline. Two more. Last one. Good. All right, come into downward facing dog. And roll forward into plank and down dog. More. Last one. Good, and downward facing dog. Look up at the hands, bend the knees, and hop or step forward, Uttanasana. Press down to the feet, and inhale, come all the way up to standing. Take the feet a little wider than hip width apart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Clasp the left wrist and reach the right. Squeeze the legs to the midline. Curl with the heart. And opposite side. Press it in. And back to the middle. Okay, if you have a block, grab a block. You're going to place it between the upper inner thighs. Hug to the midline. Feet are hip width apart. Inhale, hands to the heart. Next inhalation, reach the arms up. Lengthen the tailbone and the tailbone of the heart. The xiphoid process, the base of the diaphragm and ribs, pulling in. Here's your sternum, the breastplate. At the very tip of the sternum is a tiny bone. Drawing that down and in, the ribs pull down and in. This whole chain of abdominal wall fires. And then the tailbone lengthens here. Not so much that you round in the low back when you tuck this under. Right? It's almost like this is a lift. So you're lengthening the tailbone and lifting at the glutes and the thighs. Good. Xiphoid process, tailbone of the heart, roots down and in, bend the knees, chair pose. Good. Then clasp the left wrist, reach the right. Good. Hands in prayer, come across the midline. Perfect Uttanasana. Pull the tailbone of the heart down Lengthen the actual tailbone, squeeze the glutes, and then open your heart. Good, inhale, come back to the middle. Cross the right wrist, crescent moon. Hands in prayer, come across the midline. Same thing. Pull the tailbone of the heart down, the tailbone opening. Good. And chair pose again. Xiphoid crosses down, tailbone lengthens, squeeze the glutes and offer your heart. Good. Back to standing. Take the block out. Okay, so a little bit of chair pose with the legs coming out. Chair pose, Hamsasana. Lean into the left foot. Stretch the right leg out. Draw the right sits bone down. Bring it in. Other leg out. If you have a wall, get creative. Okay. Draw the left sits bone and hip. Squeeze them in. Okay. Couple more times. Squeezing the outer right hip. Opposite. Squeezing the outer left hip, inner grind. Okay, one more. The outer right hip down. Safe and even. Other side. Outer left hip down. Squeeze the midline. One more breath. Reach up through the heart. Good. Stand tall. Hands to the heart. Take a breath here. Always a practice of alignment in body so that our mind and heart can be at ease and come into more true alignment. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold. Place the hands and hop or step back. Koundinyasana. Hold it. Couple breaths here. Put it onto your belly. Interlace your hands behind your back. Lift your heart. Stretch your arms to the sky. Couple more breaths, allowing the back body to be supported. Shoulder blades moving in. Outer armpits squeezing in. All to support the front body. The universe to support the self. Even in this time of crisis. How are we supported? How are our lives changing for the better? How is our health increasing? How is the earth's health increasing? Because with suffering also comes healing. And the hands next to the heart and curl the toes under. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. I'm going to adjust my screen. Stand downward facing dog. At home yoga, we do the best we can, right? And then moving from downward facing dog, three-legged dog. Take the left leg up. Good. Stack the hips. Bend the leg. And then stretch to the right side. If you're going to twist, so bring the hips square and thread the leg through and over the right. Roll to the inner edge of the left foot. Good. Bend the knee. Wild thing again. Let's take it up a level. Thread the knee through, over the right, roll the inner edge, left foot, and this time reach your right hand up. Good. Place the hand down. Full wild thing. Press the foot towards the right side from the left leg. Reach it up and open. Wild thing. Offer your heart to the front. One more breath to reach up and back. Good. And then slowly come out. Okay, from downward facing dog, three-legged dog. Reach the right leg up. And stack the hips. Bend the knee. Press the foot over to the left. Square the hips. And then thread the leg over to the left. Go to the inner edge of the left foot. Okay, let's do that again. It's a wild thing. Square the hips, thread the knee through as you roll to the inner edge of the left foot. Send the right leg through. This time, lift the left arm up. Open at the back of the heart. Tailbone lengthens, glutes squeeze in. Tailbone of the heart. Stability for freedom. And then slowly release. Wild thing, if you like, all the way over. And the right foot down. Press to the inner end, outer edge of the left foot. Wild thing. And then release the pose slowly. Good. All right. Shift forward plank pose. Xiphoid presses down, front ribs engage. Core engages. Lengthen the tailbone, squeeze the outer glutes, and offer your heart. In these times, do nothing else but offer your heart. Let's squeeze the outer armpits, a little golf ball between the armpits and ribs. See how slow you can come down. I'm with you. Couple more. Come on, one more breath. Get onto the belly. And release the hands a second time behind the back. And lift up. Just come out of the pose a little. Same thing that we do when we protect our heart, right? We come out a little bit, we pull back a little. Lengthen your tailbone, strengthen the spine, squeeze the glutes. And the same thing we do when we come back out, we want to open our heart. You feel strong, lift the heart. So there's balance at that tight band of muscle at the upper back. Offer. Good. And release. Hands next to the heart. Curl the toes under. Let's try to come up. Lift the knees off the floor. Squeeze the legs to the midline. Lift the chest up. Squeeze the outer armpits into the ribs. So everything's off the floor, but maybe the hips. Even the thighs are up. Maybe the belly. Good. Now draw the xiphoid process down. Tailbone of the heart. Lengthen your tailbone. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze everything to the midline. Squeeze the golf ball, the outer armpits next to the ribs, and come on up. Good. Downward facing dog. Come down onto the knees. If you have a block, take the block between the upper and inner thighs. If not, just do it without it. All right. So we're going to do that again. Plank, hold chaturanga. We'll come up into Shalabhasana, locust pose, and then see if you can come from chaturanga up to downward facing dog. I know you can do it. I am because we are. Let's do it together. Right, so go ahead, shift forward into plank, squeeze the block. Good, tailbone of the heart draws down. Lengthen the tailbone of the spine. Feel that strength rippling up and down the spine. There's a little rounding in the shoulders. So to release out of that, let's be open-hearted. Lift your collarbones towards everyone else practicing today. Open your heart. The only thing you can do right now. And squeeze a little golf ball next to the ribs and the armpit. See if you can come down slowly. Hold it. Hold it. Do it together. Good. And then all the way down. Reach the arms back. Interlace the hands. Shalabhasana, locust. A little different with the block squeezing there. And then look down towards your navel. Knit the front ribs down. Feel that power in the core. Lengthen your tailbone down. And then unfurl your heart. Good. Place the hands, curl the toes. Knees off the floor, thighs off the floor. Forehead, shoulders off the floor. The only thing now is maybe the belly or the ribs. So engage the tailbone of the heart. Lengthen your backbone. Strong spine. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze golf balls between the armpits and the ribs. And come on up. Good. Couple more breaths. I even teeter to the right a little. All right, so here we'll play with our bunny hops. It's only 2 days before Easter, those of you that celebrate. And not necessarily the Easter bunny, but that other important guy. So squeezing the block, bend your knees, and then inhale, Shift forward and look forward towards your hands. So we did this at the beginning of class where we shifted from plank to dog. So let's do that again, but bend the knees and find more power at the midline by squeezing the block. So the knees are bent in down dog, squeeze the block, and then as if you're shooting forward, come forward into plank. Good, let's try that a few more times. Bend the knees, squeeze the block. Pressing from the ball mound, baby toe mound, shoot forward plank. Now see if you can get the xiphoid process and the tailbone involved. So knit the front ribs down a few more times. Lengthen the tailbones. Feel that chain of muscles in the core shift forward. We're doing it together. Good, 2 more. Squeeze the midline, find your strength and power. Shift forward. Last one, bend the knees. Squeeze the midline, find your strength and power. In your core, at the core of who you are strong. Strong backbone, shift forward. Right, good, come down onto the knees and come down into child's pose. If you need to move the block, you can. Just a few breaths here, but we're gonna come right back to that shape and do some bunny hops. Always practicing for the heart of hearts. What is true to you? You got out of bed this morning, you're practicing yoga. You're practicing also in this vein of, solidarity. All at home together, doing our best with what we have. Not shunning and looking away from the suffering. Unfortunately, it's too present to not look away. To also see the opportunity for healing, for waking up. Right. Let's come back into downward facing dog. Do it. Bend the knees. Squeeze the block if you have it. If not, just make with what you have. No big deal. Good. So ball mound, baby toe mound. We're pressing off. This is like our little springs in our feet, just like those bunnies with those big hind legs. Squeeze the block to engage the muscles like those rabbits in the back of the legs. And then engage your core. Xiphoid process down, tailbone down. And imagine your shoulders just floating over the wrist. You can even practice a couple times. Rolling to the toenails. And then go for it. And maybe come forward. We'll just play a few times here. And even if you're not hopping all the way forward, you can come back into down dog. It sometimes feels a little more safe. And then coming forward, I know some people feel like they're gonna just shoot forward beyond the wrist. Might not be ready for that. And then we'll take the block out if you were using it. Try a few more. All right, so downward facing dog, bend the knees. You're on the ball mound, baby toe mound. Lengthen the tailbones, little springs in your feet. You can try a few, just bringing your shoulders over your wrists, popping forward, using the strength in the core, rolling onto the toenails, and then maybe go for it. Again, you can land back in down dog if that feels more safe. Or, there's one that went over, you can land back and forward fold. Okay, a little bit more play. And come back into forward fold. Deep breaths here. And inhale, sweep the arms up, hands to the heart. Okay, if you have a wall, we're gonna come to seated and stretch the legs wide, wide-legged seat. If you don't have a wall, you still do this in the middle of the room. Okay, so press the inner edges of the feet into the wall. Bring your hands next to your hips and press down. I'm going to try to find the curve in the spine in this pose. For most of us, we feel like this, right? Use those 2 points of contact. Xiphoid process lengthens down. Tailbone lengthens down. This is going to protect muscles like the inner groin that probably feel at their limit right now, right? That will also round the spine though. So how do we get out of that? So keep the core engaged, keep the glutes squeezing in, and then slowly, you've got 27 vertebrae to work with. Create a little more space between each vertebra, pressing all the way through the crown of the head. The shoulder blades move on to the back. Squeeze a little clementine between your outer armpits and ribs without pulling the shoulders down. So that action, when you squeeze those muscles at the back of the armpit here, you don't want to drop the shoulders like this. You want to keep them lifted, but squeezing back. If you want a little bit more here, you can lean forward, whether you're in the middle of the room or at the wall, press your forehead towards the floor. Find the breath. You may find you can get a little closer. You can hear that squeaking. My feet are sliding down the wall. So I'm keeping that strength in my core, keeping the groins definitely at their max, but safe. And then lengthening up through the spine. More length there. Good. And then lean back, slide back, you can even bend the knees and bring them in. Okay, so we're gonna come back to the forearms. I wanna give you a little break. And we're gonna work that three-legged dog, bringing the leg up. So pointing the knee towards the ceiling and getting as high as we can. And we'll just do a little bit of these kind of hip swings or leg swings. So let me show you, hopefully my wall's not in the way. Slide off the mat. Okay, so three-legged dog, left leg up, stack the hip, bend the knee, and then bring it all the way around. Okay, stretch the leg up, stack the hips, bend the knee, bring it all the way around. So let's do that a few more times. Join me if you haven't already. Let's even do it opposite. So pull the knee into the chest, point the knee to the sky, stretch the legs straight. Okay, bring it down. Let's work the other side. Right leg up. Stack the hips, bend the knee, bring that leg as high as you can, and pull it in. Get two more. Opening up the hip joint. Stretching the groin. Last one. And over the opposite way. Pull the knee into the chest. Point the knee to the sky. Little wild thing. Stretch the legs straight and back. Knee shift forward. Plank. Xiphoid process down. Tailbone down. Heart open. And slowly come down. This time, straight arms, upward facing dog. Good, hips off the floor. My vinyasa lovers here are happy. Slide the throat back. Good, toes curl under. Come back. Okay, I'm gonna scooch over a little bit. Take that left leg up again. The same shape, adding plank. Stack the hips. Bend the knee, point the knee as high as you can. Now shift forward plank. Bring that knee to the back of the arm. Xiphoid process, tailbone. Bring it back. Let's try that one more time slowly. Point the knee to the sky. As the weight moves into the right hand, squeeze the left hand in, and then bring the knee to the back of the arm. Think shoulders over wrists. Good. Okay, you can go ahead and cycle through a vinyasa if you'd like. Getting an up dog in there as we open the shoulders a little more, or take a break in child's pose. All right, other side, downward facing dog. Take the right leg up, Ekapada, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feel the weight move into the left hand. You want to squeeze that right arm in too to even out the weight. Stack the hip, bend the knee, point the knee to the sky and bring it all the way forward. Plank pose, your knee to your arm. Good, and back. Slowly. Bend the leg. Squeeze the outer right glute. Point the knee to the sky. As you shift forward into plank, use the xiphoid process to squeeze the core back. Lengthen the tailbone. Even activate the right foot. Good. And then again, you can cycle through a vinyasa. A little plank. Chaturanga. up dog, and then come back. And a few breaths here. Good. Look up at the hands now that you've had the opportunity to practice the bunny hop. Maybe you go ahead and do that. Forward fold. Inhale and come halfway up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, so a little bit of handstand, just practicing the bunny hops. I had you guys do it the harder way first because I'm hoping that gave you a little bit of confidence and strength to now do it with the wall there to support you. You can get a little bit more wild with the wall and not have to think so much about all the alignment details, including the core. So you'll bring your hands about 1.5 handprints away from the wall. Okay? And you can start from downward facing dog. I'd like you to shorten your dog a little bit. So maybe more like a dachshund. Bending the knees helps us open the heart, right? So see, rounding the upper back. But if I bend the knees a little bit, it might help. Everyone's built differently, so not everyone needs to bend in the knees. Okay, now draw the xiphoid process down and in, engaging the core. And then lengthen the tailbone, squeezing the glutes. Now you'll notice that got me a little rounded in the back again. So then I gaze beyond my fingertips and lengthen all 27 vertebrae, offering my heart forward. Okay, and then just gonna practice rolling onto the ball mound baby toe, maybe even my tiptoes if you have enough strength there. Those tiny little bones if you were a ballerina. And then come to the wall. So if you get to that point, you can even hover. Take this little frog handstand, maybe even stretch your legs up straight. So go ahead and play for about a minute. It's supposed to be a playful practice. Sometimes we take ourselves in yoga too seriously. It is a beautiful ancient art, but at the same time, you gotta have fun, especially during these times, right? Lose our sanity if we don't. Another 30 seconds or so, playing to your heart's content. You can feel the shape of your pelvis shifting when you get up there. I find this one really helpful to understand how my hips need to be in space when I'm practicing handstand. Okay, so this next one, we start in a forward fold again. Depending on how open your hamstrings are, you might need to bend your legs. So we'll do it from the side. Place your hands, and the center of the wrist should be as wide as the shoulders here, right? Xiphoid process, tailbone, off for the heart. See if I can even straighten my legs for this one. Good. Now the shoulders go beyond the wrists for this one. Right, so if you have, if you feel any lightheadedness, okay, or have, any low blood pressure problems, you might want to step aside for this one or just practice some more handstand at the wall. Right, so I'm going to bring the toes to my wrists, so shoulders over wrists and toes to the wrists. Okay, and then once I practice right and left, bring one, squeeze the midline, xiphoid process in, tailbone. 2, hold it, and then back. So I find my shoulders do round out a little bit on that one. It's probably a compensation of core. It takes so much core to hold that one, but it is pretty natural for your shoulders to do a little rounding. Just make sure you're keeping these smaller muscles engaged, squeezing the golf ball at the back armpit and the ribs, squeezing the shoulder blades back. Okay, let's play a little bit more with that one. Doing toe touches to the wrists, maybe one at a time. And then you can go for both. Takes a lot of core. I certainly am. The left foot into the hips, right foot out, Hamsasana. If it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't practice nearly as rigorously this morning. So thank you. All right, so the first one, we're just gonna come straight over the leg. So inhale, reach the arms up, the right ribs back, and fold over. You can use a strap if you'd like. Try to get the right waistline over a little more. So take your left hand to the outer foot or outer shin. Good. And walk the right fingertips back by the hip. Draw the right ribs back. Xiphoid process down, tailbone down, squeeze the outer right glutes. And then lengthen one vertebra at a time, up through the spine, offer your heart. Inhale and come up. Okay, so this time we're going to go to the inside. So you bring your right hand down and under. Hold the back of the calf or perhaps the inner edge of the foot so the palm is up, and then we flip the palm back to hold the foot. There is the option to use a strap in this one. So if you loop your foot, right, you can take that top arm. Some of you will just bring the arm next to your ear, whether it's because you're prop deficient or you just want a little more freedom. Some of you can strap your foot, grab the strap, and then just put some tension there. Helps to open the left shoulder. And then others will even grab their toe, big toe. Draw the right ribs under, left ribs open. Now, the action of the xiphoid process is really huge here. We don't want to pull any ribs on the left side. Engage the core and also the left outer glute, low back. One more breath. And then release. Okay, so let's play on the other side. First one is straight over the leg. If you can even scooch your left sits bone open and back a little more. And fold. Grab the outer edge of the right shin or foot. Walk the left hand back towards the hip. Good. Xiphoid process down, tailbone down. That's going to help to draw the left ribs back, left shoulder back. One vertebra at a time, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then offer your heart. And inhale. And come up. Okay. And take the left hand to the inside of the leg or foot. Grab it. If you're using a strap, you can strap your foot. Reach the right arm up, arm along the ear. If you're going to grab the foot or strap, go ahead and do so. Let's work that refinement. We want to decrease suffering in our body and create more opening and healing. And when we want to live our life, we want to put as much healing and love into the world. Decrease any unskillful action that's causing suffering anywhere. We have to get clear and clean in our body so that we can be more conscious of our actions in the world. The time when we can practice this at home, it doesn't have to be heavy. It can be, 7 a.m. yoga to kind of work out misalignments in the body. And as we heal our body, hopefully we heal our hearts and minds. Working towards that global healing. Draw the xiphoid process down, tailbone down, turn the ribs towards the sky. And then release. Okay, so let's beef up the practice a little bit again and get to that peak sequence. So come into plank. The xiphoid process down, tailbone down, squeeze the thigh where the thigh meets the butt, and of course offer your heart. And then this one we're just gonna roll from big toe, baby toe, like little springs in the feet to the toenail tips. You wanna press the shoulders beyond the wrists. A lot on the wrists. Feels like a lot. Come down to the knees. And you can roll your yoga mat at the front here. And keep the heels of the hands on your yoga mat. And make sure all 10 finger pads are pressing into the floor. This is good. We're going to take a brief intermission, actually do some wrist exercises, because I realize some of you probably been on the computer way more than you'd like to be, or scrolling through your social media texts. Where are your family friends? So let's work the wrists out a little bit, because this pose is a lot on the wrists. Bring the backs of the hands, press them into one another. And we'll just do this movement. You want to feel like a goddess, you already are one, but you can shake your hips a little, move to music. And back down. Or God. We have divine feminine and masculine in both of us. Last one, bring it down. Great. And go ahead and reach your left hand up. Hold the wrist. A little space in that joint. Move the fingertips. And then press the palm flat up to the ceiling. And go ahead and move one finger at a time from our pinky. Fourth finger. Don't sprain your fingers here. And all the fingers. And the thumb. Shake that tightly. And stretch the right hand up. Hold at the wrist. And just pull straight up, giving some space in the joint. And then draw the left elbow towards the floor. Squeeze the outer left armpit. Right side. Good. And then palm to the ceiling, one finger at a time. Press the pinky finger. Before. Slowly. The second. And the thumb. All of the fingers. And the thumb. So shake the hands out. Right. Bring the fingertips towards your knees and sit back. And then on the back of the hands, your fingers in. We're going to deepen that stretch. Come up into forward fold and step your feet into your hands. Good. And let's go ahead and come back into plank pose. Xiphoid process down, tailbone down. Squeeze where the thigh meets the butt, and then propel forward a few times. And then with your shoulders beyond the wrists, try a chaturanga dandasana here. Squeeze a clementine between the outer armpits and the ribs. Shoulders beyond the wrists. Hold it all the way down. Good, beautiful. And then we'll come back up, lift the knees and thighs off the floor. Chin, chest, shoulders, just the ribs, maybe the belly. Xiphoid process in, now maybe just the ribs. Lengthen the tailbone, squeeze the glutes, and come back up. Good. Take it back. Come onto the knees. Koundinyasana. So we're going to flip our palms this way. Okay, if that's too much, you can roll the yoga mat again. So you keep a little lift. Making sure that the finger pads are pressing into the floor and it's just the wrists off the floor. So you bring them into touch. Now, in this pose, you're going to bend the elbows, and your elbows will end up coming somewhere into the ribs or even into your core. So bring the knees wide, like a child pose. Important to engage the core here. If not, you're going to topple forward. So pull the xiphoid process in. Feel that chain of muscles in the belly. Squeeze where the thigh meets the butt. Engage your glutes. Look forward. And then when you're ready, take one leg back and then the other. Just on the toenails here. Squeeze to the midline. Lift both feet up. That's Hamsasana. So hopefully you had fun playing with that one. And then our next one is our peak pose. All right, so you might have to adjust your little in-home space there. I certainly am going to turn around and show you guys the side view. And see how much you can see as I demo it. All right. I'm going to shift forward into plank pose. Engage the two tailbones. Offer the heart. Good. And then I lift the leg up. I can even come back into downward facing dog so you guys can see that shape. I come forward. I'm going to bend my elbows. I knew my wall was going to get in the way. Come back a little. All right, so you saw plank, engaged. Good. Down dog, knee as high as it'll go. We had that shape and wild thing, right? And then come forward, squeeze the midline. Your elbows become a shelf, koundinyasana. Good, then lift the back toes off the floor, xiphoid process, tailbone, and then lengthen. Good, now facing dog. And then the other side. Right. And the knees, I'll get into it a little quicker this version. Good. Make sure you balance the weight in both hands. Okay, you'll feel an imbalance in the left hand. So push into the right hand with the leg lifted. All right. Plank. I come into my chaturanga arms. Little shelf there. Stretch the legs straight. Offer the heart. Then ready? Squeeze the midline. All that work we did with the block. That was a little sloppier. All right, your turn. Practice and play. I'll just walk you through it. So you come into downward facing dog. Let's start from there. And stretch the left leg up. Draw the xiphoid process down. Engage your abs. Lengthen the tailbone. Good. Now point your left knee to the sky. And as you bring that knee forward, shift into plank and then just bend the elbows, chaturanga. With your knee up against the back of the arm, squeeze everything to the midline. Squeeze a golf ball at the armpits. Good. Then see if you can spring off the back toes and stretch that left leg straight. Koundinyasana 2. And then it takes so much core, so much hugging in, faith and heart. You're going to swing that left leg back up. Hamsasana. Squeeze your arms in. Good. Upward facing dog. Good. And downward facing dog. And let's do the opposite side. Go ahead and take downward facing dog here. Good. Lift the right leg up. Bend the knee. Xiphoid process down. Tailbone down. Bring that knee all the way up and forward. Chaturanga arms. And then lean into the shelf. Your arms create. Good. Spring off your left toes. Straighten both legs. Koundinyasana 2. Good. And then Hamsasana. Hug it to the midline. Hug it, hug it. And then come up dog. I ran out of space and room. Good work. Downward facing dog and then child's pose. May yoga always be a practice of the heart. Every time we come to the mat, it's a poignant practice, but it also has to be one that is curious, open, playful. because the ego is connected to suffering. So what happens when we come from a place of healthy ego, of love, curiosity, desire to know more of ourselves? That's connected to healing. Let's swing the legs around and seated. We'll come into koundinyasana. Bring the arms up. Xiphoid process, tailbone, offer your heart. And stretch forward, hinging from the hips. Offer the heart forward. And release your head if that feels good. Inhale, come back up. We do a little bit on the back here. So bend the knees in. Bring the left ankle to the right knee. Interlace your hands behind the left thigh. Suchirandrasana. And the other side. Really work the outer hips, the glutes here. Stretch open the outer hips. Okay, stretch the left leg over the right. To Supta Gomukhasana. Grab the outer edges of the feet or ankles, shins, whatever you can grab hold of. Try to tip the front of the pelvis towards your computer screen, towards the ceiling. You really feel an outer hips there. Flex your feet more, pulling the outer edges of the feet towards the ankles. Okay, and opposite, switch the right leg over the left. Grab outer feet, outer shins, whatever you can grab a hold of. And tip the front top pelvis forward. The outer edges of the feet to the ankles, and then pull your legs apart. And release. Okay, stretch the left leg over the right. Scoot your hips to the left and then drop the knees in a twist. Come back to the middle. Stretch your right leg over the left. Scoot your hips over to the right and drop your knees. Twist. And then back to the middle. Stretch your arms out. Bring the right arm on top of the left. Just wrap your arms around like Garudasana arms. Walk your feet wide. Knees are bent and drop the knees in. You can drop the right knee in, the left knee on top. A version of ski accident pose. And do the opposite. Okay, unwrap your arms. Bring the left arm on top. Bend the elbows and wrap your hands up. Feet are still wide, knees are still bent. This time drop both knees to the right. And then to the other side. And then pull the knees into the chest, Uttanasana. Inhale, press your feet towards the front of your mat. And exhale, pull your knees in. A few more. Inhale, press the feet away. And exhale, draw the knees in. Go ahead and stretch your legs out. If you'd like to put a layer on, you can for Shavasana. Your palms to the ceiling. Preparing for 5 minutes of Shavasana here. If you prefer to end in meditation, you can. Notice any tension in the body. In yoga, it's not that we deny any suffering. The first step is actually paying attention, identifying where the suffering is, so we can transmute any misalignment or pain that we may be feeling, so that we may understand and learn how to work with it. As you become aware of any tension in the body, expand your awareness to notice the parts around the tension, to notice the parts that feel easeful, open, free. And with every breath, allow your whole body, a vessel for healing, to find lightness like a boat on the sea of consciousness. Release. Trust that you are held the same way a vessel is held in the sea, with a strong hull, a strong body. Perhaps it is easier to have a soft and open heart, an open and curious mind. Every breath like a wave, washing away any scars upon the shore of your soul. Deep breaths for healing. Begin to deepen your breath. Move the fingers and toes. Stretch the whole body out. Roll to the side. If in Shavasana, come up to seated. Bring your hands together in front of the heart center in Anjali Mudra. It's been such an honor to share my practice with you today. Truly, I am because we are. Thank you for inspiring me to practice and to offer the teaching as I see it to you each and every day. Stay calm, stay healthy, and yoga on. Close class with an Om. Inhale. The light in me honors and sees the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much. There's a link to donate in my cover photo and About Me section. Suggest a donation of $5 to $25, but pay what you can. Just spread the word in the name of yoga. And I